Hey, this is Marisa bringing you the last in our series of emotional marketing videos set in the businesses and restaurants of New Orleans. And for this one, I've got a very special surprise. I'm here with Press Kabakov, who's the founder of HRI Property, and he is in charge of redeveloping a lot of the historic areas of New Orleans, especially after the flood. And he's such an example of the last emotional market of beliefs and convictions, of really building a business around a core vision and a core set of beliefs. And for those of you who know me, I've got a lot of beliefs that Live Your Message has been founded on. Number one, I believe that entrepreneurship can change the world and that every single one of us has a piece of the puzzle. And when we step forward to give our gifts and solve the problem that we're uniquely designed to solve, the world becomes a better place. And I also believe in turning up the dial on your unique expression. And it's the only way to be heard from the noise of over 2 billion websites online by being more of who you are. And I'm curious, Press, what are some of the core beliefs that you have behind HRI Properties, and what had you start in this whole business of what you're doing now in terms of providing mixed-use housing and housing for a lot of low-income people and really redeveloping this incredible city that we live in?
Well, I got lucky. I was born into a family with a very talented father. My father said I was reading Life magazine, and they got a way to watch movies in your home. It's called television. I think it'll work. And so he founded the first television station here in the city of New Orleans. And mid-career, he opened his own business and ended up doing some of the major developments in the city. He brought the city back to the riverfront with the Hilton Hotel, and was known as the father of modern tourism in the city. And we ended up taking a look at how could we improve the declining warehouse district. Our downtown is composed of an old town called the French Quarter, a central business district, and a transportation and warehouse district. So our three neighborhoods, French Quarter, Central Business District, and Warehouse District, is what people know as now our downtown. And we put together a World's Fair in 1984 was actually when it started, and one of my assignments was to assemble 80 acres in the World's Fair. During that period, I went to Soho and the North End of Boston and saw that they were taking great warehouses and making them into homes, and I was attracted to that and decided with another fella who's now deceased, Ed Boatner was his name, to buy a great warehouse in the warehouse district. We took it over and decided that we would ultimately develop it into the first loft development in the city. There must be a desire to live in these center cities, and that's what built HRI. And as you said earlier, it's now a company of a couple of thousand people that's with $1 billion of assets. We've probably done 45 projects in our headquarters, New Orleans, and 90 to 100 nationwide. We developed a mission-oriented company to revitalize cities by creating diverse and sustainable and vibrant communities.
So I love how you said that your mission is something that found you, and you didn't necessarily go into it with your mission, but by doing the work, you discover the mission along the way.
Right.
And what would you say is different from your approach to other real estate development companies, but how would you say your mission is really different from other real estate development companies that don't always have a good reputation?
There was an book called Built to Last by a Stanford professor, described the great companies of the United States, and he selected those companies that over the last 100 years, his major thesis was that those companies with missions to do good in one way or the other, Merck to find cures of people's diseases, and those companies with strong missions in which people galvanize together and get excited about the contribution they're making over and above their growth of their income, was one of the characteristics of the companies that did well, and that certainly impressed me. And being partially a civic nut, as well as a business person, the concept of really making a difference in cities and viewing everything through the lens of good for a city, is it good for the employees? If you meet those two, then the stockholders will do fine as number three. Our mission really grew out at looking at that phenomenon. How could we play a role in rebuilding America and cities across the country? And so the mission was a very important part of our company.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you were to leave my audience with some final words, and these are people from all over the world, really 40, 50 countries who are building businesses from as far away as Macedonia and Nigeria to a lot of people here in our own country, and are really having the courage to say, here's what I'm doing in the world and why it matters, and I'm going to go out there and do my best to hustle and learn and do what it takes to make it happen. What would you say to them?
Go for it. Go for it, and have the. It's so easy to get discouraged, and it seems so rational.
Yeah.
When you're fatigued or things are just not working to throw in the towel. Those few that say, the heck with that, I'm just going to keep going, and I didn't really learn that until I discovered that the world's not going to end tomorrow. And if you take those difficulties that you have and somehow persevere through them, usually something good will happen. You're not sure exactly what.
Absolutely. I think it was Winston Churchill who said that success is really those people who are willing to go from failure to failure without any loss of enthusiasm.
I think that's what I was trying to articulate.
For sure. So thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time. And this is Mr. Press Kabikoff, founder of HRI Properties. It's a company with $1 billion in assets and over 2,000 employees. It's really a mission-driven company to revitalize our urban centers. And you heard from him how having that mission was such a core part of becoming as successful as this company has been, and being willing to stay true to that mission, and knowing when you stray from the mission, things just start to get a little bit hairy. And personally, I found that having a big driving mission behind Live Your Message, which is our mission, is to turn everyday entrepreneurs into online superheroes so they can change the world from their living room. When we really work on that mission, I realize why I have the late nights and the early mornings, why I do the things that everybody thinks I'm crazy when I do. But a lot of times that mission and being willing to put in the hustle, as Press said, is such an important part of that, because when you've got those two things, really anything is possible. So thanks again for tuning in. And remember, our 6 emotional markets that we went into were fun and adventure, peace of mind, permanence, and nostalgia for the past, love, friendship, and connection, care, self-identity, and beliefs and convictions. So when you really understand that your business goes way beyond what it is that you sell, down to the stories that you tell and the emotions that you convey through your work, all of a sudden your business is a movement. It stands for more than what you do. And that's what people want to buy these days. This is what people want to follow. This is what people want to believe in. So let me know in the comments what your mission is, what that core belief is behind your business, and how you plan to integrate some of these emotional markets into how you do what you do and how you talk about what you do, so you can stand for more in your business and really become a leader that others want to follow. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you, Mr. Press. And go out there, live your message. Bye.